Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm joining you with Kathy. And this is another of our Indian Cinema 101. As of course, she knew Prabhas from the Bahubali films, but we are going to talk about his film just before Bahubali, Mirchi. Excellent. So Mirchi came out in 2013. And this director, Siva, he has done lots of blockbusters with big stars, and so after Mirchi especially. And his next film coming out in April of 2024 is going to be Devara with NTR. Oh. So it'll be NTR's next film. And then it's also going to have Janvi Kapoor, who is an up-and-coming star in Hindi cinema. And, of course, she is the daughter of Sri Devi, who is an extremely famous actress who died too young. So anyway, and also Mirchi gives us Sathyaraj playing Prabhas's father. So Sathyaraj, of course, was Katapa in the Bahubali film. So it's just super fun with a toupee this time. Exactly. But just super fun to see the two of them together again, and so this, I think, was probably the first Telugu film that I watched after the Bahubali films, because of course I had to see like more what else is Prabhas done, right?
Exactly.
And I learned something about myself, because a lot of these village set Telugu films, and at the time I didn't know, it was all fresh to me, but a lot of them are these machete fights. This part of the village hates this other part of the village, or whatever. It's always these, and then maybe the insider comes in and makes peace, right?
That's right.
So when I watched this, it was fresh. Now watching it again, in 2023, I'm like, okay, yes, this is a plot that we have seen several times, but it's really, I mean, I will freely admit to you, Kathy, that the first half of the film is completely and utterly ridiculous.
I was going to say, we'll talk about that opening scene in a moment.
Yeah, the opening scene alone, right? Okay, but I mean, once we hit the interval point and that first machete fight, then it just, like, the emotional impact of this film is really hard hitting. Yeah. But I did learn about myself that, I like these little independent rom-coms, and then I love a machete fight movie. I don't know what it is.
I know. There's a lot of machete in these movies.
Machete in his mouth and wrapping this scarf around his head.
So insane.
I'm like,
oh my God. There. I know. Machetes seem like an extra gnarly weapon. Like, just when you see a machete come out, it's like, oh, this is gonna be bad. I bet a gang of people with machetes seems extra terrifying. Like, more terrifying to me than guns, even though even guns are probably even more deadly, but it still seems extra intimidating. So when you see this, I'm like, damn, old school machete.
Oh, but let's talk about what Prabhas is armed with in the opening scene.
I love the big heroic entry scene.
I can't talk about it without laughing and practically falling off my chair.
It almost seems like an 80s parody. Like, it just has that, like,
my friend super campy. Said the 80s did not happen in India. I'm like, it just doesn't have the context. I mean, a guitar, which is the keyboard that you wear like a guitar, is what Prabhas is wearing.
I know.
In the opening scene, and he's supposed to be so cool. It is so not cool in America. Let me just tell you.
He jumps on his motorcycle with his guitar. I was like, no, it's supposed to be like a bass or a Fender or like a, like rock and roll. No, it was a guitar.
And he keeps it on during the whole fight too. He doesn't even put it down.
Doesn't even have to put down his beautiful instrument. I love it too, because they have the girl and these guys are harassing her. He comes to her rescue with his guitar. He looked damn good though. I mean, it's like,
okay, now it's funny because my husband walked into the room and I had to replay the guitar scene, and he was just wide-eyed, but he was like, I said, he's like, that's Prabhas? He's like, no, it isn't. I said, yes, that's the guy from Bahubali. he couldn't believe it because I think this is Prabhas's natural state, like long and lean.
Yes,
not all
young and lean. Yeah, exactly.
Right? He's lanky. He's lanky in this. He looks really good. Although my husband was like, his face is not as chiseled. I'm like, yeah, because he's probably eating something besides chicken and broccoli. Like,
exactly.
I mean, you know,
so funny. But he did look different. You could tell he was a lot younger, and he definitely wasn't the superhero yet. But that's sort of what made him kind of in a way endearing in this, is that he wasn't the classic chiseled superhero yet. So he comes into it almost like you knew he was fit, and he's has apparently these superhero type abilities.
Yeah.
But I guess was that supposed to be a thing? Was there some sort of extra supernatural ability he has, or was that just normal fighting?
No, that's just normal Telugu fighting.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss something, that he was from another planet or something. So
okay, I forget because I'm just so used to it. I mean, it's just like the the leaves rustle. It's just it's almost like anime fighting or something.
It is, and it starts off kind of normal, like it's kind of the low key, real fighting, and it's like, all of a sudden he's flying through the air,
right?
And
or just the big pusher, especially the blow to him, and then he slides along the ground to stop, right? Like.
So yeah, it was sort of like it was like anime or kind of some of those those films and China, the Chow Yun Fat, like flying through the air, slow motion, beautiful choreographed stuff, just supernatural stuff. So I thought that was a little jarring.
People like who only watch Bollywood, they look down on Telugu because of films, in part because of the fight scenes like this. But you know what? I eat it up with a spoon. I'm all good with it.
I'm fine with it. And look, you know what? Who gets the last laugh? Telugu, because RRR just brought that home to everyone. And they're like, I'm here for it. I like this flying through the air fighting. It's good. And it is. It's very cinematic. And I think people are sort of in a way, they've gotten kind of used to it because of superheroes, and Marvel. So now this sort of, extra choreographed fighting scenes are kind of what people expect now almost. So
yeah, but I can understand what you're saying. It's a little jarring the first time that you see it. Like in the world of Bahubali, he's so larger than life and has these supernatural abilities and whatever. You're expecting it.
Yeah.
But this is just a guy on the street, like
small village
with some touch, like
he kicks all their asses. But we're not going to solve this by fighting. We're going to solve it with love.
There's a lot of machete and blood going around for that message. Yeah,
I know this whole message of fighting with love also involves machetes. I'm just telling you right now.
A lot of machete.
Man. Oh, so good.
There's two actresses in this movie. In the first half of the film, it's I don't know if it's pronounced Richa or Rika, and then of course Anushka Shetty, who we know as Prabhas's partner in the second Bahubali film.
Right.
But here she's playing an extremely different role.
Yes.
So the first half girl, it's an exotic location in Milan. We have a girl from a village, but she's going to college in Europe. And then Anushka Shetty's character is very much a village girl who's never been out of the village, right? And so very tough, but I just love her sass. It's just such a completely different kind of role than the regal queen that she was.
That's true.
Probably too.
That's true.
But they still have this. I mean, they have this amazing chemistry together and teasing. And so now like when you see this, you understand how excited audiences probably were to see them teamed up again in the second half of the Lee film, right? Mm-hmm. Just knowing that they have this magical chemistry together.
It's true.
I'll be completely honest. I find Richa's part kind of flat. And I was, the first half of the film especially feels kind of silly. But it's interesting. I think this is a film made for rewatchability, knowing that an audience is going to come back and see it multiple times.
That's
because everything is different once you know where we're going in the second half. Seeing the first half for the second time, especially, like I knew where we were going. And so I haven't watched this film in a number of years, but I remembered. And so I was like, okay, I'm watching how Prabhas is with her. Right. Yes, he is trying to worm himself into her life, but there's reasons. And always he's like, he can see she's star-eyed about him, but he's just kind of like, I just want to make you happy. I just want you to be happy. You know,
just be happy.
Where are you from? Where are you from again?
What family are you in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, nowhere, no one, just me. It's like, there was some conflict. There was a little bit of drama back there, a little bit of revenge, a little bit of, And I did like the structure of past and present. Like they had kind of this past present, divide. Because I didn't know that's what it was going to be, really. So as I'm watching, I just assumed the past is going to be it. So I was.
You just assume it's like, okay, it's going to be this girl. Okay, this is the romance that they're giving me. Okay,
that's right. It's like, this is where we're going. You kind of relax into it, like, okay, I know what's happening. And then it was like, wait, what? What's that? And then all of a sudden we're like, different woman, present. Then you're getting this whole different like relationship to the family and who he is and what family he's from. All of a sudden it becomes this whole different thing. You're like, oh damn. And Indian movies do this a lot. And we're going to talk about a few more that did exactly the same thing. They start you with one way.
Yeah.
And you're like, I get this. I know where we're going. Yeah. And then there's this like, they turn it around and you're like, they pile on the insane twist and it becomes a whole different movie. And it's like, I love that because you're so used to just getting one thing.
Yeah. You get everything all in one movie. We get the silly rom-com. We get all of it.
Because really,
huge melodrama, we get action, we get everything.
That's right. The past movie could have just been the movie.
Right.
Could have been a very linear, depiction of that. And it would have been very satisfying, kind of cool, relationship-y, kind of, that kind of family drama. But no, we're going to give it a little extra pizzazz.
Yeah. Right.
So I love that about them because you can't really, and that's why I like showing people Indian movies, because you sit there and you're like kind of smugly going, just wait. They're like, yeah, this is pretty good. I get it. All of a sudden they're like, wait, what? I love that reaction when the twists come. It's like,
yeah,
so good.
I mean, like the wedding scene. Whoa.
Oh my God. Whoa. Not with wedding scene.
I mean, heavy duty. And Sathyaraj is such a good actor. It's not even the things that he says. It's the look of horror on his face as I've been in this village for 20 years trying to maintain the peace. Mm-hmm. And my son is the one that has done all this. And that's even before they look over and realize that Prabhas mother has died in this whole movie.
It was so frustrating to see him do that because you're like, dude, just keep it together. You don't have to. And he just, he does this big, crazy machete fight, the whole leaping, killing it. Yeah. And then, of course, the cost of that. Right. And I don't blame his dad for being mad. It's like everything wasn't exactly fine because there was this escalating. It was that sort of escalating to eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. That kept going. And, which was the whole point, is that this cycle will never end if we don't end it. And then he did that. Still made it happen again.
Right. And then, but then it's like I said, watching the movie again, you realize how brave was it for Prabhas to go to that other household? At any time, he could have been killed if people discovered who he was.
Yeah, that was really
he purposely, I don't know what the name of the trope is. Guardian angel isn't exactly right. But there are a lot of shows where this outsider comes in and fixes everybody's little problem. It's like a Hallmark movie or something, right?
It is.
Right? Like the fairy godmother, Prabhas, the fairy godmother comes in and fixes everybody. Oh, this guy is a bully at the college. Let's get him a girlfriend that'll soften him up, Exactly. And all the women in the kitchen have never been allowed out of the house. Hey, let's organize an outing. Why don't I go in and break gender molds and start helping?
That went well. I know he comes in, he's like being all cocky, like, women, get out of the kitchen. You're just in here, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's your whole life. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Go on. They get all excited. Like, why don't we go out? Let's go on a holiday. Then all of a sudden you see why. And also for good reason, because they'll all be killed.
Right.
They think they're being in a way they are both. They're being held captive in a way, but then if they go out of the house, they will probably be killed by the, opposing families
But I mean, you just see him fixing all different kinds of little problems in the house.
Yeah.
And he knows the girl has a crush on him. He does make her avoid a marriage to a guy that looks like he's just, an uneducated bully kind of a guy, right? And so she's like, oh, he's doing this because he's so romantic, right? Like, I mean,
he's so handsome and romantic. I mean, look at him. I know, it's so funny. He says, and he has no intention. Like,
right?
We probably kind of come swooping in, and he is helping to fix things. But a lot of people are having these expectations that are not met, even though they are in a way. He's improving some lives. It's still like not what they want necessarily.
But the movie completely takes off for me at I mean, I don't know, it's about an hour in. At the interval point, just before the interval, we have him, disguised as just a farm laborer on the side of the road, and he pulls the machete out of the water and changes road signs and does all this stuff to save his father and his whole family that are trying to make a visit to a local temple.
I love how he changed the road sign also. It wasn't just change the road sign. It was like, whoosh, do it with machete. So good.
So epic.
You can't just change the road sign. You have to do it with a flourish.
Right. But I mean, that scene was just a whoa.
Oh, I know when they show that an interval comes up, I'm like, whoa, what's happening? It's the big turn. Here it comes. This is becoming a new movie now.
I know, but I mean, he really sells it as, his mother was like, okay, I've kept the secret from you, and he wants to find his background. He wants to meet his father, and it's so emotional when he goes and he meets the whole family. And and then the wedding fight happens. Oh my Lord.
It's like, can't you guys just calm down for 1 second? Just calm down. Oh yeah, that was really sad. That wasn't good.
So I mean, it's just so intense, and he's been banished by his father, and then he's doing this penance. He's doing everything he can to bring the two sides together and to solve this problem. His father is just held it at bay for 20 years, but he's like looking at it as an outsider, because he is an outsider. He grew up in the city. He's an architect. I love all of that. I love when Anushka, the village girl, comes to visit him, and he's like trying to keep everybody he's like just giving her busy work so she can experience an office life. If anybody talks to her.
It was so funny. I know, that was really, it was fun to see the opposing lifestyles too. Like he had this life going on, and then he went back to the village and he got to see the lives there, and he wanted to, I can make change. I'm going to do this change. And he had to kind of, in a way, kind of adapt to that, even though he'd been an outsider for a long time. But he was good in that. Because the last thing I saw him in was, Ani Paresh.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was bad. I just feel like he wasn't in it.
I mean, before Bahubali, like that he's known for. So there's the really silly song "Darling" that's in this movie. Like he was known as Prabhas Darling. Like he had a movie called Darling, So he was known for these silly romantic comedies. Of course, he would have fist fights or whatever with people to save the girl, but he was known more. He had a string of some of those, which. Yeah, love to share some of those with you.
Oh boy, here we go.
But
does it have a guitar in it? As long as the romance has a guitar involved.
You know what? Nothing can ever match the one and only guitar Mirchi moment.
It was so good. I know. I'm like, no, dude.
All right, so there's so many fun supporting actors. We already mentioned Sathyaraj. I think Nadhiya Moidu, who plays his mother, I thought she just has this regal presence. I love her.
Yeah. She does.
So I don't know if you recognize Subbaraju, who played the college bully that's the cousin of Anushka Shetty, like that kind of invites him to the house.
Yeah.
If you remember, he did he was in the second Bahubali film. He was the ridiculous coward guy.
Oh yeah.
Who finally redeems himself. So again, it's rematching the two of those guys in the next movie, right?
That's really cool. Yeah,
then there's Brahmanandam, who is the comedy uncle. Like I will admit, I shared a screenshot with Kathy while I was rewatching it. There's scenes where you can see that Prabhas cannot keep a straight face and do the scene without cracking up. Like he's kind of going like this.
I love that.
I don't find it as funny. I think it's sort of like, if it's a running SNL joke or something like that. I think Brahmanandam just has his shtick that he's done in movie after movie after movie. And so when he starts in, people have all these memories of all these many, many films that he's done. So they just, I don't have those associations necessarily. So, and I think some of it just maybe wordplay or something kind of goes over my head, but I do find amusement at watching Prabhas not be able to get through a scene without laughing.
So good. It was like, did you see the Saturday Night Live with Pedro Pascal where they have the go out to dinner and this woman's explaining and he's trying not to laugh and then the rest of the cast starts laughing. I love when they break character. I also had to wonder, like, at behind the scenes, like before they're shooting, he could be goofing off and messing with Prabhas, and so that when they get into character, all of a sudden he's already kind of a little elevated, amused, just pushes it harder. Love that. I love that they just keep in the films. They're like, he's not keeping straight face. Let's just keep going. It's not going to happen. We'll just have him in the background.
You can't do it.
It does make you want to watch it again just to see him trying to keep straight face. So funny.
So the music is by Devi Sri Prasad. Some of the music numbers are absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
I kind of love that about them. Like the cowboy western one. Like
that was really weird. I was like, what is happening in there?
It's like weird. American culture through a funhouse mirror. Like, whoa.
And it was not Western at all. Like there was no Western reason to have that in there. I guess kind of a showdown. I guess you could have like, they're technically the gunslingers. Like, but yeah, that was very odd. Very entertaining though. But it doesn't seem like the movie that would have a musical number. So when they threw them in there, it was always kind of like,
well, you realize I'm watching it and I was like realizing how front loaded they were in the first half.
Yeah.
Because that's the more silly half, and it's also the exotic location half. I mean, I will say, Prabhas didn't look too bad on the streets of Milan or wherever
I wasn't mad at it. I was not mad.
Not mad to see.
Not mad at all. I'm okay with it. I know those did make sense, but yeah, I remember thinking there's a lot of musical numbers in this, like unusual, because again, it wasn't the kind of movie I thought would have that as much. Usually, I feel like it seemed like more of like like I said, the family dramas, even though the front was a little different. To have so many musical numbers felt like just, I don't know. I
do think there's a trend. So, I mean, this is a film that's 10 years old now. I do think there's a trend towards fewer or maybe more some of the songs being more montage songs versus flat out dance numbers. Yeah. And, but yeah, I mean, you think this is a lot. You watch, I mean, I've watched some Telugu films from the 50s and the 60s. It's just nonstop. Like there's over a dozen musical numbers.
I love that.
Like it's just nonstop. All right, let's look at some of these crazy posters.
All right, let's look at these posters. Oh, there it is. The guitar. Look how good he's holding that, like it is like a rifle or something. He looks like he's right. That looks so good right now with a guitar.
I'm sorry, everybody, but guitars just do not have the connotation in America. Okay, like
it's like the biggest nerd thing you can possibly do. Just adorable in its own way. But it'd be cool.
Okay, so this is like from that one musical number in Milan. Yep. And I love this look, the little cap, the sweater, the whole thing.
I love the blue shoes, the blue scarf. That's great. That's really cute. It. Black and white background.
And then this is the kind of poster that lets you know. Yeah,
I like that.
Some machete fights in this.
Yeah, there's machete. Prabhas and machete. I'm like so in when I see this poster. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's watch.
I mean, this reminds me like of his upcoming film, right?
Yeah,
like it's kind of that smoky background, whatever. And he's outlined, but he's also kind of that same color as all the coal dust or whatever,
like a little sepia.
That's what it reminds me of. Yeah. But
got a little background. Got a guy back there. It looks like he's on fire, but I think he's just got a little mist on top of him.
Right, and you also have the logo of the movie in red,
bright red, bright red on that sepia. Yes, do it. And so I like how they hit all the marks on it. They had the one that's like, it's just pure entertainment guitar. They've got to do that with a handsome dude. Then we get the, I just me being cute in Europe. It's cute. Okay, we hit that note. Then we get the like badass. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Like all the audiences were catered to in this advertising.
Right? Exactly.
Every single one. It's a movie that has everything.
I mean, the guitar, he looks a little tough, even if he's holding a guitar.
That's what's so funny about it. He's so serious.
He's about ready to rumble.
He's ready to rumble.
I'm sorry, everybody, but I just can't stop laughing every time I see the guitar.
I know, the guitar is so good. I don't think I have ever once seen a guitar used as a cool type of attribute that someone has. It's like usually someone has like the guitar or they have, you know, I don't know, a gun, but it's like guitar, that's a new one. It's brand new. I've never seen that.
It's singular.
It's fresh. It's singular. You know why? Because of this. No one can keep a straight face when they fly.
Okay, but it is Prabhas, so we love him.
That's right. That's why he pulled it off, because he looks so. And then I'm like, am I missing the significance of the coolness of the guitar? Because he is wearing that like it is a cool. He convinced me it was cool. Almost convinced me. If I could just crop that one photo of that poster, just upper part was really good. Then pretend the rest of it's a gun.
I will say what I love about this movie is it's just a mix of everything. It has these intense fights. It has silly dance numbers that are just super fun.
Yeah.
We have 2 heroines, 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Although Anushka is my favorite. But like, do you think a still of Prabhas putting toenail polish on Anushka has ever been my iPod lock screen? You better believe it has.
I was going to say, where's that poster?
Oh, my Lord.
Why is that not on the screen right now so we can share it with everyone?
I mean, there are just...
That's right. I forgot about that.
And like, when she is ready to... She keeps sending off every person coming to the house to try to... her family's trying to arrange a marriage with her.
Yeah.
And then it is iconic. The Prabhas scene of him getting out of the car and just walking with that swagger down the street and that nice dress shirt, like, oh yeah. I mean, there were, have I used that GIF many times? You better believe I have.
It was a great scene. He gets out the sunglasses, the slacks, the loafers. It's like,
yeah. He has got the swagger.
He does. He knows how to work it.
I mean, he gives us a little bit of everything in this I mean, he has dramatic scenes, he has emotional scenes with Sathyaraj, his father, all of it. He gives us a little rom-com silliness, everything.
It's a best Prabhas all in one movie.
Package.
It is a package. It is a little bit of everything. It is pure entertainment and machetes.
All right. Thanks, Kathy, for indulging me with my Prabhas obsession.
I needed more Prabhas in my life. I do. I feel like it's pretty limited so far because, we've got
a couple of movies coming up. Please God, let them be good.
I'm rooting for that guy. He came to Comic-Con. He's on my short list of cool for doing that. So
I am just hope. I mean, he does look extremely cool doing action and slow-mo and whatever. So
he does. He looks
I'm just hopeful that there is a script out there to match his slow-mo swagger.
Someone make a movie he's worthy of. Come on, he needs a good one. Come on, quit wasting him. Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.